I hope. And we're live. How you doing, Chris? What up, Chris? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing?
Happy New Year, man.
Right? I haven't talked to you since last year.
Yeah, it's been forever. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like so long ago. The holidays are crazy.
I know it's like you're waiting for them to get here. Then they get here. You want them to be over.
Yep. Get it over with.
All right. Yeah. So I've got it. Let me lower this a little bit. I've got an interesting scenario or situation that I wanted to get everybody's take on.
Shoot me.
All right. Let me put the first photo up here. Good evening, everyone. Okay, and this has a potential to get into a weird conversation.
All right.
And I really don't want to get to that weird place, but I think considering her circumstance, this is something that she thinks about every day.
Oh, wow. I think I'm ready.
I think I'm setting it up too much. How you doing, everyone? All right, let me lower this volume a little bit. Right? Yeah, that's better. Okay, let me share the page.
I'm anxious to see it.
All right, what do you see on the screen there?
Let me see. I see some type of state or some type of emblem, and then this little girl with big lady's glasses.
All right. Now, show you one more before I hit you with this thing.
Okay.
What do you see now?
A girl by a sunflower.
Okay. What if I told you that girl, her name is Shauna Ray, and that woman is 22 years old?
That one right there?
Yep.
Okay, the first picture is the same one?
Yep.
You got me thinking, man. Let me sink this in here.
That's her on the left.
She's like, real. That's her?
22. 2-2.
Lord, man, she can't be but under like 4'10", maybe.
She's I don't even think she's 4 feet tall.
I was gonna say. Well, then again, you see that I don't know if that's her mom or friend or probably a friend. Looks like a kid, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's Shauna Ray. She was born normal, but then she developed a tumor in her brain. They were able to go in there and remove it. So they got the tumor out.
Right.
But it was pressed up against her pituitary gland.
Oh, I see.
Your pituitary gland is what controls hormones, growth, right?
Yep.
And at the time, I think she was 12, 13, something like that. they didn't know if it was going to affect her, and they told her, "Well, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know." But then they realized, I think around 12 or 13, maybe 14, that she wasn't growing, and that's the effects of the tumor pressed up against her pituitary gland.
Right.
Don't know if it's ever going to go back to normal. It doesn't look like it at this point because she's 22 and she's the same. It stunted her growth, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Some of you guys have seen this, right?
I've never seen this before.
Yeah, that's Shauna Ray. Sass knows who that is. Yeah. So she got her own reality show. I think it's called I Am Shauna Ray or something like that. That's on TLC.
He's American?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Carly. So somebody introduced me to this scenario, and I was like, holy cow. She's so little.
Yeah.
She looks like a little girl, sounds like a little girl. So, okay. So on her show, the topic of her dating came up. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this and be careful. So she says she's got to be careful because some of the men, we'll call them men because they're adults, right? They're men.
Right.
Want to, let's see, how do I say this? So if she meets somebody and the guy finds her attractive or they like each other or whatever, does that necessarily mean that he's into children because she looks like a child? Does that kind of label him as a predator or he's got tendencies? You know what I mean?
I'm sure.
Even though he may not.
Yeah. I'm sure it's out there, Manny. I mean, I'm sure there is definitely people out there like that. But in this situation, any man that actually wants to go out with her has to expect the perception. Like they have to be willing to accept that, hey, you are going to be the focus of attention. Now, going out and have a relationship, in my opinion, are two different things. You know, you can take anybody out, but a relationship, it doesn't mean you're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, so just like casual dating.
No, like I'm just saying
versus a deep or a serious relationship, right?
Well, yeah. The thing is like if some guy was to go ahead and ask her out, right? And they really didn't like go in the public. You know, he was like, hey, let's go out. They went and got something to eat, and then they started just hanging out. Now that's, to me, that's something. Casey's like, man, I'm embarrassed and everything. You are a woman, you're short, blah blah blah. But if some guy was sitting there going, he mentally, there's physically and mentally, the conversations that he would have with her would not be like childish conversations. You're sitting at a table, that's another thing, because you're looking straight across you, and you see a woman when you're looking at the face.
Okay, so let's say she's at the restaurant with this dude, and they're eating wings or whatever, and you're sitting across the room at another table with your wife or your family. Do you say like, damn, that dude must be a child molester, or he must have? I mean, once you realize and the word gets around, oh, she's a woman, she's 22, she's got a condition.
I can tell you this, I would think it's his daughter. You know what I mean?
Until they started holding hands, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can look at people and tell. I've seen it before. I've seen like, man, that guy and his daughter just kissed each other. I was like, what? Like, it's really weird. You can tell, like when you're a parent, you can see the interactions. You can just watch somebody and like, I'm going to see my daughter for the first time, because she's in Austin now. And I know that we see each other and give each other a hug and going to sit down. And in the mind, you're going like, man, people are looking at like some dad or some man, this is my daughter. Don't look at me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. I don't know. I'm glad you caught me. I'm glad you caught me off guard.
But if you can tell, okay, wait a minute, that's not her father because the dude's only 20 or 22
yeah,
years
that's
old,
different,
too, right?
Yeah, it's all about size. That's her key. It's all about size. Like right now, you look at her, you can't. The only thing you can do is look at the door handle, and you can kind of measure how tall she is. But if that door handle wasn't there,
no, and she might be on a chair.
You never know. But it's how she portrays herself too. If she's on social media, you know, if a guy's looking at her body and her face, they're not going to know how tall she is. But if some guy is sitting there, face wise, in my opinion, she doesn't look like a little kid. That's just my opinion. A couple angles of pictures, like the one with the glasses, she looked like a little kid with woman's glasses. That's why I said that. Okay, well, there's the chair, Manny.
Now, in this photo, there's a chair.
That's a kid. That just the height, I guess. And she did have a tattoo on her arm earlier. Yes, I saw that.
She's got tattoos. And I want to play a little video for a second. Just kind of talks about it for a minute.
Oh no!
But that's okay. So that's her problem right now. Is trying to when she wants to date. She's like, damn, well, I got to screen these guys because I don't want a guy who is a pedophile to be interested only because he's a pedophile and I look young.
Yeah.
And okay, you're her father. Then what do you tell her? What else do you tell her?
Man, I just be careful. I really don't know that. It's like one of those things until you're in that situation. I think it's different if she was like, I'm short, I don't look like an adult, I'm so sad and depressed. Then you kind of like, hey, look, I love you no matter how you are, blah, blah, blah. But this is different because you're trying to protect your kid. And maybe she doesn't even live by her family. I'd be worried all the time. Plus right? She's so small, being able to protect herself. Like, because I looks like a little kid. You know, maybe mannerisms are older, but that's just tough, man. I never even thought about that.
And like, you're going to hear her in a minute. She's smart, you know. She's intelligent. She's like a 22-year-old, any 22-year-old.
Or maybe the high pitch.
You know?
I bet she has like a high pitched voice or something like that. I would think.
It's like a what do you call that voice?
Like a kid's voice or something.
It's like a sound effect that you make, like a cartoon voice.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Well, we're gonna hear it in a minute. In fact, what is this? Okay, let me play this right now. Let's do that. All right, let's play a minute of this, or a couple of minutes. It's only 3 minutes.
Has Shauna Rae been? I mean, since her show premiered, we all know that she's been struggling with a lot of things. Her family, her independence, her health, and for months now, she's kind of been out of the public eye, so it's just natural for people to be curious about all that's going on with her. So I went and did some digging, and you guys are never going to believe all that I dug up. So we all know that in the first season of her show, Shauna complained a lot about wanting her own independence from her family, and she felt tired of being treated like a child, even though she is an adult. And I have to say, I totally understand where she's coming from, and I can get, you know, it'd be pretty annoying. But for the longest time, we've all known that Shauna has been wanting to get her own driver's license so she wouldn't have to wait on her family whenever she wants to head out. And well, it looks like Shauna's dreams have finally come true, because she recently just revealed that she has finally gotten her temporary permit. And from the looks of things, she looks pretty excited. And I don't think anyone can really blame her. I mean, I guess we can say that all those countless quizzes she went through with her sister Riley finally paid off. But Shauna getting her learner's permit is not the biggest news that she has to share, because it turns out that something much bigger has happened to her. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us kind of expected this to happen with the way things went in I Am Shauna Rae Season 1. But still, it's a pretty big deal. So, guys, it turns out that I Am Shauna Rae is going to be back on our screens for a second season, which, you know, I wish I was know what to expect when season 2 finally premieres, but I really don't think we do. And I think we're going to be in for a really crazy season ahead because outside of getting her driver's license, a lot of unexpected and
Yeah, I was hoping you're going to hear her voice. I could play a different clip.
Yeah.
say
I'll play a different clip, but hey, Lavina, how you doing?
I could tell it's probably like you said, a cartoon voice kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll find another clip. I'll play that video. It's probably just a clip from one of her shows I'll play. Oh, and it's interesting that the clip it's a popular clip is when she goes to a bar.
Oh, no.
She was drinking with her friends.
Wow.
Yeah, let me put that one's interesting. Let me play that one here. And it just a lot of scenarios come to mind and a lot of questions you got. And that's like, oh man, how do you? I'm glad I'm not her father.
Yeah, that would be tough.
All right, man. But there's the voice.
Man. It's just tough because there's people who are small because they're dwarfism or whatever they call that, and that's a whole different world. This is like all around. It's.
I mean, whatever happened to her. I mean, how old does she look? 10?
Well, maybe 10, 12, maybe 10. I just think it's something that she's going to have to live with, and I don't think there's any way. I don't know how she's going to deal with it. Like, just because of the way not country, but our the way we live. It's all perception. It's not about. It's just perception. That's a society we're in. You don't have to. It's all physical. That's when all these ladies get different things, or guys, plastic surgery stuff. Sometimes they're doing it to make themselves happier about their body, but a lot of these ladies, they do it to impress other women because a lot of other guys don't like it. I'll be honest with you, a lot of guys don't like artificial stuff. But in her situation, she can't help it. She's a beautiful soul. You can see that. You can see it. She's got an amazing. But that's not the issue. The issue is having to go out there every day.
The issue is her, as she's, what do you call it? Selecting or trying to find somebody to date.
Yeah.
And having to, I don't know, I want to say dire each one or weed them out to see, is this dude normal? Does he like me for me? Or is he like a pedophile who just likes me because I'm tiny?
I can tell you what, I think somebody like that, it's kind of where you vet. The person needs to be vetted. So if they were talking on the phone and he was aware of everything and then say, hey, come here, I want you to, meet my family or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking in circles in a way, but this isn't something that you can just get shot at you and be like, yeah, I've never thought about that. I have seen shorter people and it looks like somebody's walking with a kid, but when you see them, it's
they're
pretty
more
obvious they're an adult.
Yeah, there are like smaller, like you said, dwarfism or something.
Yeah,
where they're small, but they have like adult features.
Yeah,
And
this is different because you have the make them. There's nothing wrong with it. Just, as a regular, I think if you were to, it's okay to have a show in a house all around the family. But just like some of those guys like Charlie Kirk and all these guys, they just can't. So
if you guys are on YouTube, I just found out that because I played that video, they interrupted our broadcast on YouTube. So in case you're wondering what happened, that's what happened.
The broadcast or the...
Yeah, the broadcast. They stopped.
Like me and you, we're talking right now, nobody can see us?
On YouTube, they can't, but we're on Facebook. We are on Facebook.
Oh, we're on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah. It's a copyright thing.
I don't know how that works, man.
Oh, it's a pain in the butt. Really, it's horrible.
It's just, I don't know. That's
I'm
that's
not monetizing Charlene, Carly, Lavina. They took us off YouTube.
like just the stream, but they didn't take you off.
Well, they interrupted the stream on YouTube. We're still on Facebook. It's still going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, usually what they do is they'll let it finish, and then they'll send me something at the end of the broadcast. Say, hey, by the way, this violates blah, 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 and you got an option of cutting out that segment or deleting the whole video.
Well, that's too. There's so many different angles to this and I'm just going to throw it out there this way. I don't even have time to think of what I think about it, but she's making a hell of a lot of money off of this stuff. And the family,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. But the point is, it's tons and tons. Now she's got an issue where it's not just how she looks. You got guys going out there, they're going to be going out for the money. I'm telling you, that is big money she's making. Enough to where they cut you off of YouTube because of copyrights. That's just my opinion, man. I just can't believe it. I don't
know. I would, if you want to think cynically, I think men will go after her because she's small and looks like a young person.
Yeah, I can see that.
Kind of like a fetish, like, hey, I can be with somebody small, looks young, but she's legal.
Yeah.
And that sucks that she's got to think about that constantly, like forever.
Yeah.
Marley, I don't think they like to be called little people either.
I to be honest with you, I wouldn't even know what to call them. Like, I would rather have somebody say, "What should you call them?" You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I don't like being called. But okay, I see that point. That's a good point. But I just don't know in this country. People don't know what to call people anymore. It's like, how do you talk about
Okay, so the M word, which you said it a little while ago. Yeah, that's like the N word now. So they're trying to abolish that. There's a movement to abolish that word.
Yeah, because I know one time I met, what do you call it? I met what do you say? Like, you can't say dwarf, you can't say little people, you can't say midget, you can't say, what do you call them? I know they're people, but like, what do you can't just go, oh, we're everyday normal people. Okay, normal, yes, but I'm not trying to dig a hole. I'm just trying to say, when you have issues, you're trying to help other people get through them. There's other people out there to reach out to. So what do we say? Us little people, we want to stand up and, like, what do they call themselves? I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. And I'm one of the most accepting people on this earth. And other than like dwarfism, midget's what I was raised with. And I did meet a smaller guy. Again, I don't know what to say. And he was like, I'm the best midget on earth. I'll never forget it. He's a little wrestling guy.
Yeah, and then you wonder, what about these little people, I'll call them, that do, what do they call that? Like when they shoot them out of a cannon and stuff?
Yeah.
Use them like they're bowling balls or whatever.
You remember the throws where they throw the little guys and they toss them, and it's like they had a really big thing about that. I'm like, look, all that matters is the person who's tossed. I mean, if I want somebody to toss me, stay out of my business, because I'm getting $200 to be tossed. You know what I mean? And then there's some guy in California where I would say, man, I hate when they toss us. It's like, that's your business, It's crazy.
The one, some of them don't mind because they're making money on it.
Exactly. Well, look at the show. I think it's a good thing, that little show. I haven't seen it, but obviously it's getting it out because there's a lot of people in her situation.
Oh, here, I stand corrected. According to the Little People of America website, many people, so Marley was right, many people who experience dwarfism prefer the term little person.
And I'm good with that. And I just learned something.
According to Little People of America, dwarfism is a medical or genetic condition that results in average height of 4'10" or shorter.
Or shorter. Well, it's good for me to know because there's going to be times when you get it. And I know on the other hand, they do expect it too. They expect people not to know that, but it does help. Makes sense. I've never had it caught me off guard, man. I was like, what did you say? When you're a person, you know how many times I get called cracker and Wonder Bread and like honky.
Wonder Bread?
Yeah, that was one of my friend's nicknames towards me. What's up, Wonder Bread? Malibu's Most Wanted.
That's funny. I've been called coconut. I get called coconut. It doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't.
I was born in Chicago, raised in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I grew up amongst the white people.
Yeah, but that's just I don't know. I was the other way around, Manny. I'm from Detroit. I was not raised around white people. To this day, all my friends on Facebook will tell my daughters, listen, when did your dad turn white? But my daughters know that. They saw old pictures of me, man. I wasn't trying to be black. I was just, like now I could get it. Now I could really do some things. I'd be like, I identify as black.
Right.
I want my scholarship.
Did you ever have any problems with racism over there in Detroit?
Oh yeah. I will tell you this. I've seen reverse racism. Only time I saw racism, like I've experienced or I've seen it, the first time was when I went into the military. I was a real good basketball player. Basketball's in my blood, and then I go overseas. I was really good. I mean, I'll never forget it. I wish I would have worked hard at it, but I go over there, and on the base, literally, it was said, it wasn't written down, obviously, but no white people could play on the base basketball team. Not that they weren't good enough, but they wouldn't let them play. But good old Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
I got on the team. And I lived in the black floor of the dorm. I mean, but I saw it. I was like,
so is that where you grew up? Is that where you actually grew up? You went to high school over there?
No, Detroit. And then that's where my dad played the NBA on Pistons, and then went to Toledo, and I was raised in Toledo till I was at 17. Toledo's like a mini Detroit, 30 some miles away, 40 miles. But my mom worked 2 jobs. My dad divorced her, all kinds of stuff when we were young. And we were raised in low-income housing. And she was going to nursing school. Well, all the nursing school was in the hood. So all my friends, that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
And I met my stepfather. He had some money. He was a builder. He was a really cool dude. He kept me for 30-some years, whatever. It was my stepdad. But he moved out to the suburbs. And that's when everything changed with me. But I still kept my roots.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
There was this movie set in Detroit. And we're not going to get into movies per se. I'm
right.
just mentioning it. There's a movie called Zebrahead. You ever hear of this?
I may have watched it, but I haven't heard it.
Michael Rappaport is in it.
Yes. They would say, you say I look like that dude.
Yes, you do.
Not now. I mean, I'm like,
so that's.
I identify as an older person right now.
Teenage kid. They're Italian or white Italian.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah. Okay. And he got the father got the record store.
Yes.
His best friend is black. He falls in love with his best friend's cousin, Nikki. Yep. And it's a good movie having to do with racism. It's actually a good movie. It's an independent film.
Yep. You remember Jungle Fever, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Jungle Fever.
It's the funniest part in the world. It's like every time I'd see it, I'm like, do they realize that you can't call an Italian person white?
Yeah.
So it's not, everybody in this world thought it was a white and black thing. It's like, no, they're Italian.
Yep.
Italians do not marry outside of Italians. I mean, nowadays it's probably different, but that's not how it was. If like Syrian and Lebanese, all these people. If you marry outside your thing, it's not a racist thing. That's called whatever. What do you call it? History or tradition, maybe.
Tradition, yeah.
Yeah. So people nowadays, I think that's why I was telling you earlier. I've been around all walks of life. So if anybody ever was to say, I'm prejudiced and stuff like that, I don't get into all that stuff. You are who you are. You're a human being. I worked with all types of people. Bottom line, all you are is you have good person, good character. That's when I start judging people. But
yeah, that's what I always say here. Whenever we got into politics, I always said, I don't care which way you lean, or whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever in between. I don't care. Just don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So,
and see how this conversation kind of starts moving, because it's all intertwined in some way. It's I don't know. And I do know this, and I want people to know out there, whoever's watching that, I realize I'm not as energetic as Bam is.
Well, Bam was going to be on, and he said yes, and then he changed his mind. He wanted to get to bed early. Dude's got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So,
man.
Yeah. I know how that is. And getting up at 4 a.m., 3:30 is no cakewalks, no fun.
Yeah. I just, that's tough, man. And it's, like people used to say, oh, you're getting old. My back's hurting. My leg's hurting. Like, shit, my knees and legs have been hurting for 20 years. But now, the hip surgery I got, the back starting to ache. And you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, my God. To see what he had to go through with that nose, the thing, whatever, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Fortunately, and I'm trying to knock on wood somewhere, all physical functions are good.
Good.
No back issues, knee issues, joint issues, or any of that stuff yet.
Yep. Well, thankfully, there's not a lot of new procedures now. As technology gets better.
Yeah.
It's still tough. It's still hard. It still hurts. But
now, you were in the military? Did you have your hips replaced because of an injury in the military, or?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it was prolonged, like the training that I was part of reconnaissance, and most people that are injured, believe it or not, with the VA aren't through combat. Some of the jobs that we had and stuff were the types of work involved. It's a well-oiled machine. You got pilots who fly, and then you got guys that are lifting. Well, not now, but back in the day, they're lifting like 300-pound miles. Like it catches up. So with me, mine was more survival training, parachute landing falls, just training pilots and stuff. I trained spy pilots, and I say it like that because it's a different level of training. So you're in the mountains a lot. Falling down on your knee or ankle 20 times on a mountain is like having 3 concussions in a week, kind of. I don't know if that was a good analogy, but.
No, I get it. Man, I was watching a Facebook reel or whatever these videos are, YouTube and Facebook, of this woman she's wearing a dress or skirt or whatever. And you could tell she's going to show off and do a split. And it's one of those where she jumps up and kind of lands real hard doing a split.
Oh, wow.
And she does it. So I'm watching her trying to get up, and she's trying to get up. I don't know if her leg came out of her socket or what happened, because she couldn't get up. She was there kind of like crawling on her hands like this. And I was like, oh, and I had to turn it off because I didn't want to see. Or her leg broke at her femur, maybe.
Yeah.
Right at the hip or something. And I was like, oh my goodness. That's something. I don't want to watch this. I'm doing one of these numbers, like,
Yeah. All I can say is the hip replacement I don't remember anything. I just remember laying in there. They wheeled me in, and I'm like, I just remember the guy. We're gonna put a little oxygen mask on. And it's an oxygen mask. You're about to knock me hell out for.
They're gonna gas you up. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I felt. I'm real claustrophobic. My anxiety is through the roof, and I just was like, you know what, Lord, do what you got to do. I just want to be able to walk. Man, next thing I remember is like waking up and people looking over me. I was like, am I home? That was the first thing I said. Like,
so how long before, like when you woke up from this, how soon did they have you try to stand up and walk?
Well, they try to get you to stand up, like with the walker, so you don't get any clots and stuff. But it was one day really. So they try to stand me up. Now, don't get me wrong, they had me on a lot of meds, but I had to use a walker. It was real tough because I'm like, thing is I didn't do myself any favors by. I'm 280 pounds, I'm like 6'3", and I was supposed to lose a lot of weight. Couldn't bend. So I mean, really, within a week or so, I was walking with the walker. It was just tough getting out of bed and stuff. But I just know there's a lot of people out there that avoid surgeries. Probably number one because insurance is so high and stuff. And unfortunately, the VA, you hear a lot of people complaining about it. Sorry, I've been for 30 years and I haven't had an issue yet. Maybe I'm just lucky, who knows? But it was just amazing. And I watched a YouTube video of how the surgeries go like that. My problem was I watched it before I got my surgery. So anyways, I guess my whole point to that is technology's really helped things, and I know that Bam's in really good hands, and I couldn't even imagine doing this like 15 years ago, like what he would have had to go through, you know?
Yeah.
So
he'll be back in a few days. Every day, I think it gets a little better and better. I mean, it's surgery, right? So it's going to be swollen and for some time.
Yeah. Well, the physical therapy was the worst part. That's all I got to say. I chose to have it at my house. Let's put it that way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to cut this one short. I just wanted to throw that at you.
Well, it's
see what you thought.
Well, it's a good thing because if it's been out there and it's a show, I know that she's helped a lot of people. You know, and what you were doing right now by putting that video out there for them to cut you off, I guarantee you just at least whoever was on here, maybe somebody never saw that. That helped me out. So that helped me. I even learned right now that little people is what you need to call people. That's a learning experience right there. So by you doing those things, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what's crazy with our world right now.
Yeah, but it's, copyright's all about money. And
I know. But it is what it is, man. I appreciate it. It's great talking with you already.
Yeah, we'll be coming back. I'm going to do I might actually come back later today and do a late pillow talk, a late one.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting facts together on this couple of crime stories that somebody's been feeding me.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, but I need to put together a visual. So when I narrate this thing, it might even be a video versus a live.
Yeah.
And
well, just that's what I'm a former cop. So the crime things are really cool because it allows people to give their perspectives. And the more people that can give opinions, you can't think about everything. You need everybody's input. Yeah. So there might be somebody out there that like gets the piece of the puzzle everybody's been working for. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm into that stuff. So whenever you need any help with that, count me in.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of crime stories. That's plenty of it out there. It's just a matter of, and I even have some insight on, there's a group that is against the death penalty.
Yeah.
And I'm on their email list, and this so-and-so is supposed to get, executed next week. And this is the story. And it's always the same. It's like, they're always innocent. Everybody's innocent, And it's like, and I'm a proponent of the death penalty, but I need it to be in like a perfect airtight.
No, exactly.
He's guilty. Dude,
exactly.
You know,
it's just the people. There's been so many cases where you see people that are found innocent after the fact.
yeah,
It's like, oh my god! But
yeah, and that's the problem.
Mammy, Tubi, Tubi. Do you have that app?
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh man, I watch every documentary on there, and there are documentaries on there that none of the other stations have.
Yeah,
I've seen so many good ones. So, anyways,
Tubi is a good free one. That's a free app. You don't pay for none of that stuff.
But people go, I don't like the ads. I'm like, dude, give me a minute to get up and stretch my legs or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Ads are not that bad as long as they're and they don't do a lot of ads either, if I remember correctly.
No, it's no different than a regular TV, but
Yeah.
Anyways, man.
So anyway, I'll be working on one for sure, and then after I can only do like one at a time, and then another crime story after that. And this is all real life stuff that's happening right now. And at some point, I want to do an update on Melissa Lucio.
I haven't. I watched the documentary. I just remember watching it like, whoa, I don't even know it was in Harlingen. It's been a couple years. A year or two. But anyways, it'll be good, man. I enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, Melissa Lucio is a woman, the first Hispanic American woman to be put on death row here in the state of Texas.
Man.
And some people are saying that the legal system is being racist against her and violating her human rights, her minority rights, because she's a female as well.
Yeah.
And they claim that she murdered her 2-year-old.
I remember that. Something about the stairs or something.
Yeah, that the little girl fell down some stairs, or she was pushed down some stairs.
Yeah.
Why wasn't mom watching? Who was watching the kid? Why did she even?
That's crazy.
Why was she in a position to fall down the long from the second floor to the first floor? A flight of stairs. Other people in the family that were bullying that little girl, the little baby girl.
Oh yeah, I saw it. It was pretty sad doing it because I used to work in group homes and all that kind of stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff. It's just sad. But
yeah, so I'll probably revisit that in the next couple of weeks as well.
Well,
not a lot of people are familiar with what's going on with Melissa Lucio.
Well, we'll keep in touch with it. So,
yeah, for sure.
Other than that, appreciate you inviting me.
No, it's good. Everybody, thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. Interesting conversation regarding Shauna Ray. If you don't know who that is, look her up on TLC or on YouTube. Shauna Ray is a 22-year-old little person. I don't even want to say little person. She's afflicted because of a brain tumor.
Yeah.
That affected her growth gland, her pituitary gland. And as a result, she's about 3.5 feet tall and looks like an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
But she's 22. So we were just discussing a little bit of how interesting her dating life could be, and, things that she's got to do. And she's got a driver's license, but how the hell does she reach the pedals? I mean, they got to outfit the car special for her.
They got to modify it. Yeah, it's got to be modified.
I just thought about that. It's like, how's that even possible?
It's all the modifications and stuff.
Well, I guess she's considered disabled, and that's a disability, right?
Yeah, it's got to be classed as that because there's a lot of things that she can't do. Let's put it this way: she could probably do it, but it's not as effective. There's certain jobs that she couldn't do because of her height. So that leaves her. She wanted to be a cop. There's some minimum standards there.
Yeah.
She you know what I mean. So
that's good. She's on cable and YouTube and doing her thing on social media. So
yeah. Hey, if all these other people can make money off of stupid crap, at least she's making money, educating people, getting the word out. She probably donates things. So, all right, man.
Hi, Paige. Oh, let's see. Some people feel her interrogation was botched. Oh, talking about Melissa Lucio. Oh, her interrogation was brutal.
It's horrible.
I mean, brutal. I mean, one of her mistakes. we're talking to Melissa Lucio, and people question us all the time. It's like, well, why did you confess? Why did she freaking confess? And her confession was exactly like this. Yeah, I guess I did it. I guess I did it. And, you know, she was there for 7 or 8 hours, 9 hours straight, no lunch, no dinner, no water.
See, Manny, the thing is that a lot of people, like just somebody who's not interrogated before, I've done it as a cop, and I've seen it. That's a tactic. It's sleep deprivation. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You'll do anything to get out of a situation. That's the way it is. I mean, think about it. We've done things before. We're like, God, let's get this over with. Okay, whatever. I did it. You know what I mean? It happens.
Yeah.
That was my training in the military. You know, it's no different than.
See, but using that tactic, how could you, in good conscience, use that tactic and get somebody to fess up to something that they didn't do?
Well, a lot of the people are just trying to get an end of the story, because if you're a department and you can't solve certain things, like it's a pretty embarrassing thing. A lot of cases, just think about it. There's so many jurisdictions that you do one thing in this town and get convicted of it or get charged with it. But if you did the same thing in another town, you probably wouldn't get charged with it. Or these guys would be crooked and they interview different. It's all different tactics. You know what I mean? It's so that right there, especially somebody, from what I remember, she wasn't really educated, or I can't remember what it was, but
yeah, she had you know, issues growing up. She didn't have a cushy life or anything like that. She got pregnant at a very young age. She had a lot of kids. I think she had 9 or 10 kids already.
Yeah. Well, she had a criminal history in some way, but not like a bad history, from what I remember.
Yeah, like drug abuse, you know, things related to that.
Yeah. Well, there's a thing on YouTube. You can check it out. There's interrogations. Just type it in, and it'll say all these famous crimes and all these different things. Interrogations gone bad. As it's going through, it's like 45 minutes long, each interrogation, and it stops and it puts a word. Okay, this is what the officer's trying to do. And then holding the arm. The other guy's looking at his feet. He's picking his fingers. You know, and 3 hours into the conversation, you know what I mean? It's showing you exactly how it's all mental, and all the guys care about. They get into a role play. As an officer, you get into a role play.
Yeah.
I did it. There were people that I couldn't stand for what they did. I mean, you're still human, but you're like, dude, you don't have to tell me, but the next guy that's going to come in here, he's nasty. So, you know what I mean?
And there is such a thing as good cop, bad cop.
Well, yeah, that's where that comes from.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
But that wasn't just a tactic. That was real, because they'd always get me to come in there, and I wouldn't lie to them. That's another thing. You can lie, believe it or not. Some people want to argue about it, but sorry. I'd be like, dude, I worked with gangs. I'm like, got your boy in here. You're going to tell me he's going to roll? Nope. That's your homie. You know, he's not going to roll on you because he cares about you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no. I'm making it like, dude, the kid's got 2 kids. You think he wants to go to jail right now?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, he's in the other room. I said, nope, he just left. They let him go. And he's like, what? It's funny. Whole other conversation, but it's enjoyable, you know. And somebody put on there, everybody has a breaking point. Yeah.
Hey, Kristen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And child deaths are it's a very touchy thing, and people are very sensitive to that, even police.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing we talked about was the downtown here. Well, what was that guy's name? Was it Luna? Can't remember. It's a guy that was getting messages from his grandmother, so he decapitated his little kids, 3 kids.
Oh, no, that was across from where I worked.
That was right here in downtown Brownsville.
Yeah, that was right on the corner of where we worked at the kids club and stuff, the boys and girls. That was pretty nasty. Yeah, that's traumatized a lot of people to this day. A lot of officers.
Yeah, officers. Yeah, the officer who was the first one in there.
Yeah,
and the guy confessed to him right there on the spot. He's like, "I did it. I just killed my kids." They're and he walked in there and saw that.
Yep.
See, but a guy like that who confesses, And clearly he's not lying. He obviously just did this. So now, his death penalty is getting delayed. It's like for somebody like that, there should be no delay on a death penalty.
Yeah.
It's like
it's the thing. It's amazing how you can botch up paperwork and let somebody free. It's just crazy. And then they want to say we're gonna fight to see if he's sane or not. Who in
now, right?
Your whole thing to find out who is sane. I mean, you do something like that. I think that's a free quiz.
That's an easy one. Yeah, he's like, not sane. All right.
Yeah, I realize by law, I get it. People do things, and then after that, they're going like, "Oh, he's got to be crazy. He's faking." How do you fake that, Jesus? But anyways,
I was watching a story about a guy. I think his last name was Guy, Guy. How he was living with his parents, and he killed his mother because she had a $500,000 life insurance policy.
Oh man!
And then he killed his father just because he didn't want to share the money with the father.
Yeah.
What he didn't know was that his mom did not make him the beneficiary of of the life insurance policy.
That's crazy.
So he killed both of his parents, and then he chopped them up, put their pieces in a plastic tub. When the police went in, this was like 2 days later when they got the warrant and were able to look at the apartment, the house.
Yeah.
The stove was still on. There was a big giant pot on the stove. It was boiling, but they didn't know that there was a head in there. He cut his mom's head off and put the head in the pot. The pot was covered. So in the body cam video, you can see with the gun drawn, going through all the rooms, and he goes through the kitchen, and there you see the pot, and the little arrow comes. Mother's head is here.
Thank God I saw some crazy things, but thank God I didn't see stuff like that.
Well, that's got to be traumatizing. I mean, for most people, it's traumatizing.
Yeah. And people are just in there. I don't know. So
anyway,
a lot of stuff in the world.
More of that to come. We're gonna have some nice conversations coming up with having to do with crime stories.
Yeah, we can do that one night. Just do a crime story. And somebody did put on there about DNA. I'm real big on it. If a guy's sitting there saying, "Hey, I did it. I just want to die. Put me to death." I mean, what do? You can't hold it off. You know what I'm saying? And you got DNA, you're good. That's why I'm not really a big death penalty guy, unless there's certain things. I'm pro,
but it's got to be an airtight case. It has to be.
Yeah.
And it can't and you can't let them appeal for 20 years.
No. Yeah. I think the biggest thing too is that with technology now, there's so many things that you can do to prove, and it's Photoshop, and there's all kinds of. It's crazy, but anyways, man, I'm sure we can get rolling on this all night.
Oh, I know. We'll just keep on and keep on.
Yep.
Everyone, have a great night. Thanks for being here. And if I got a pillow talk coming up, I will put that out there shortly.
Yeah, I'm about to talk to my pillow, man.
There you go. Right, that's the kind of pillow talk I should do. Yeah. All right, Chris, thanks for coming on for a bit.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Everyone, have a good night. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you later. See you.
Bye.